You hear about the vote that they had over there on it? It's like 1,000 no's to about 100 yeses. They don't want it there, the people there voted. I mean, doesn't mean anything.
Right, because those are,
But they don't want it there.
yeah, those are non-binding referendums and that, yeah, which, again, that when the siting council is working on what they want to do, they may or may not take that into consideration, but
Yeah, just like they wanted to get that police training school in the northeast corner here too.
oh, the old, the gun range from a couple of
Everybody
years
wants to
ago.
Get the quiet corner and make it noisy.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's call the meeting to order. It's 7:02 in attendance. John Lane, Mark Weeks, and myself, and we will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, item 1, review and approve meeting minutes from May 6, 2025.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right, any discussion, changes, alterations, deletions? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye, okay. We have 2 tax refunds, both for Toyota Lease Trust from line 3-4000, one for $480.24 and one for $333.27. A motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
All right, any discussion? All in favor? Aye, okay. I didn't make a letter for everybody. I wasn't wasting the paper. You can read it if you like or not. I'll pass it down, but and I don't actually think we have to actually vote on this, but Tom Melson, Transportation Principal Property Agent for the Administration Division, Office of Rights of Way, Connecticut Department of Transportation, needs a letter from my office, which is concerning the bridge replacement, Woodchuck Hill and Little River. And it says, I'll read it to you. Concerning rights-of-way tasks that are required for a reference project, please be advised that the town of Canterbury does not have sufficient staff or the technical and legal expertise to perform the required work. Therefore, we're requesting the Connecticut Department of Transportation Division of Rights-of-Way unit to perform the rights-of-way tasks. So it's boilerplate to get that bridge project moving forward, and they just want this back. They want me to sign it. I don't think we need to make a motion on it, but just let you guys be aware that, this is going out to DOT. And
That's why you get the big bucks.
that's why that's right. So these 2 bridges, they're moving forward, which is nice. That project has taken a while, but it's getting there, which is good. Both of those do need to be replaced. All right. Parade update.
We're doing pretty much what we did last year.
Okay.
I don't know who's not going or going as far as the organizations in town. Patty's been getting kind of sparse
Yeah.
answers, but we don't usually get a lot anyways. They
No,
just
in the last couple weeks, we still got time, so we'll put one more ad in the Turnpike Buyer for about 2 weeks before the 4th of July.
I got signs going up in about a week.
Okay. Yeah, we got the signs in the shed, so,
Yeah,
all right.
making some up.
Put the word out to CAA to see if they want to do anything again.
Yeah.
We were supposed to we haven't had a meeting in a while because everybody's schedules have been kind of all over the place.
Right.
But I'll reach out.
It's nice when the people that get money from the town participate in the
Yeah.
town.
Yeah.
That's how
And we usually get a pretty good turnout. We'll see. I'll see if I can nag the library and the town hall employees into coming out again. But maybe the library, the Friends of the Library group. So we'll see what we can do. All right.
What about across the street, Pastor Nate?
No, they always come out and do
Yeah, they
stuff.
always come
Yeah.
out, so you
Yeah.
guess they've- okay.
We send things to all the fire departments. Everybody that I can think of, I would say last year, pretty much notified except for the organizations in town.
Yep. Okay.
So I know you got more inroads with that than I do. Constables and fire police are on.
Yeah, they're
Lord.
they're ready to go. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll put it on your shoulders.
Appreciate
All right, so that's moving along. All right, two items, we have 6 and 7, and I apologize for the wording. What number 6 should say is to, I guess you give the authority for the first selectman to go to the Board of Finance to request that they create an expense line for the mini liquor bottle proceeds. So, do I have a motion to that effect?
You do, but it sounds more interesting this way.
Create an expense line for NIP proceeds. Yeah, you're close enough.
Why do you capitalize NIP?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm not quite sure, but
It grows a life of its own once it leaves the.
once it's off my desk, things happen to my words. I don't know what happens.
When I
to
first
them.
saw it, I thought it was something else. I was like, no, I'm pretty sure he's just talking about NIPs.
Yeah, and this,
How many sleeves we gotta get a meeting?
yeah, none. Do we have a second?
Yes.
Yeah, all right, now we'll discuss this. We get this money from the state program for the mini liquor bottles. And this year we hired a person to go down and clean Manship Park, Frink Field, and Campbell Heights Field. So she's down there twice a week, 8 hours a week, filling up garbage bags. And I haven't been down there lately. I don't know, does it look pretty good down at the park, Manship? Have you been down there
Yeah.
lately?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks good down there.
Yeah.
I haven't been over to the basketball side in a while. That's
Yeah.
usually where the trash congregates, but.
Yeah, because I know the first week I chatted with her. She said she had, I don't know, 4 or 5 bags pretty much filled up.
Yeah.
And the grass was lower, so she was going, 5, 6, 7, 8 feet over to the side, which was good. So we have the revenue line, so I just need to have the Board of Finance create an expense line so we can pay her out of that line and cover some of the.
I was gonna say, when you do that, we gotta transfer it over to write a check for the individual. How's that gonna work?
We'll just run it out of there. We'll pay our payroll out of that, and
Okay.
we'll pay. There's a few supplies we've got, like garbage pickers and some
Yep.
other stuff. We'll just run it right through there. Shouldn't be a problem. All right, so all in favor? Aye, and I'll let Board of Finance know that. The next one, which is also for the Board of Finance, and this is to authorize me to request an extra appropriation for our 20% match for a steep grant, which is to improve, make ADA compliant the Manship Field parking lot and to improve the walking path down there. So we have a motion to that effect? Okay, for discussion, if we all remember, a couple years ago, we got a steep grant for $500,000 to build an ADA compliant nature trail. The first site was rejected because of impacts with turtles and the like. Second site was rejected because of impacts with more wildlife. So Jordan Lumpkins, who's been working with the town, I kind of put him on that because I got cheesed off after 2 rejections and was pretty much, said forget about it. And so I put Jordan on that. And so we actually had a pretty good conversations with Deep. And then we went over to OPM. So OPM Deep in the town of Canterbury had a conversation. So we asked Martin Heft, the undersecretary at OPM, to see if they would rewrite the contract because of these 2 options that we tried failed. If they would rewrite the contract so that we could still within the idea of ADA compliant, but redo the parking lot down at Manship Park, which if y'all go down there, it's in pretty rough shape, and to work on the walking path down there. And Martin gave us the thumbs up on that. However, we need our match for that, which is about 20%, $100,000 for $500,000 project. I was going to use ARPA money, but because of the delay, I had to use that for another project, or we would have not met the federal guidelines for having that money properly dispersed. So I have to go ask the Board of Finance for $100,000, extra appropriation. I'm thinking I might just wait on that till the next fiscal year because they hate when I do this after the budget passes and I show up with something like this, but I'll have that discussion with them and we might be able to kick that off to July's meeting. So we have the motion, we have the second. I've kind of explained it in a convoluted way, but any questions? Right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay, very good, thank you. So I'll get that information to Mike Lee and the Board of Finance, and we'll work on that. Selectmen's report, let me, if I go first, I got a couple things, and one I'm actually gonna loop Barry in to talk about a little bit. First one, and if you wanna put this down on your calendar, all three of us are invited on July 2nd, from 4 to 5 PM over at the mini mall with Cumbies in it. Brittany Mulkentine is opening up a Grow With Me Pediatrics. She's a nurse practitioner, and she's going to opening up an office over there. Brittany's dad Jim has been active. I think he's been the rec department for years.
Yeah.
So she's going to be setting up that business in town. So 4 to 5 p.m. ceremonies at 4:20. I guess she's actually going to make it, this could be an issue. She says, should you be able to attend, and would you also like to say a few words at the event? So, I don't know if we can actually get what I have to say in between 4:20 and 5 o'clock, but I'm going to put that on my calendar because I think that's good to go. So if you guys want to come out as well, that'd be good for that. The next item, and probably more importantly, is I just wanted to talk a little bit about the trash to energy plant, which is proposed for Plainfield. I've had some discussions, people stopping at me on the street. I've had a couple emails where folks have expressed an interest in this, and they want to make sure that the town is doing what we can do, and that we're working on this. And it's one of the things Mary and I last week we met with legal counsel to discuss this, to see what our options are. We've had conversations with Plainfield, and we are doing what we can do to date. And correct me if I'm wrong, it's not on the docket yet for the siting council, so our actions are fairly limited. What we can do as a municipality, I would stress, Mr. Jenkins is here, and he mentioned this before the meeting started. If there are people out there who have a strong feeling against this plant, by all means, they should, let that be known. If they want to put up signs, again, it doesn't hurt to put them out there, and to talk with folks in different environmental groups, and as well to let them know what's aware. But we're going to do what we can on our end to make sure everybody's informed. But I probably, because it's early stages, I don't have a lot of information to pass along about that. But Mary, if you'd like anything you'd care to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, I did watch their public information meeting that they did for a presentation in Plainfield back at the beginning of May 7th. I believe based on the conversation or what they articulated at that meeting, that begins their 60-day pre-application process, which means they can't put their application into the siting council until 60 days after that introduction to the community. So I believe that their timeline for filing to the siting council probably isn't until at a minimum July 7th. It doesn't mean that they'll file right then. It could be shortly afterwards. They are still, according to their public participation plan that they had to file, they're still accepting public comment. So you could go to their website, and they do have a button on their website that you can submit public comment on that. They're supposed to incorporate responses, if you will, to much of that public comment. For what they articulated in the meeting, they haven't released their traffic study. They have relayed bits of their traffic study, or what their first initial traffic evaluation is. They're talking about 100 trucks a day into that facility, 5 to 6 days out of the week. And they're currently articulating about 45 coming through the 14 through Canterbury to access Black Hill. Black Hill is actually going to be their main entrance, so they're going to be coming on and off at Black Hill. That's what they're currently articulating. They're saying that the rest of them are going to come off of 395. Based on what we have seen, what we know of, where the kind of deficiency is in trash trash processing and where those are coming from. This is essentially replacing half of the loading of the Hartford plant that closed. Most of those trucks, I think, believe are going to be coming from the central part of the state, which more of them, I think, will come through the Canterbury as opposed to coming Route 2 and then up 395 to access that same point. I think they're going to kind of cut across in this general direction. So we're monitoring that. As soon as I can get any information on our traffic study, I think that will be impactful to understand better about what potential exposures Canterbury may be facing.
Okay.
We also looked at natural diversity database information as well, based on what they've released for their location site and how that would potentially, because there is that natural diversity database area of concern crosses into Canterbury from Plainfield. So there is a shared natural diversity database area that we need to just monitor.
Yeah, and all this is going to be a very involved process, and I will just let you guys know that if we get into a full-scale fight with this, looking at environmental studies, traffic studies, engineering studies, we'll probably be in the tune of $60, $70, $80, $100,000 when you wrap in legal fees all together and bring in experts to fight this. From my perspective, again, I think it's one of those things where Eastern Connecticut, there was an issue with the Mid-Merrick plant in Hartford, so they had to close that, and yet so now they want to move this facility out here to Eastern Connecticut. We already host 2 garbage burners in the region, Preston and Lisbon, as well as a wood burning plant, power to energy plant in Plainfield. So I think it's typical of the thought process that you get in Hartford, where east of the river is forgotten about. I know I had a conversation with Mark last week, and I haven't seen our state rep in a while. I asked Mark to reach out to him, track him down, and get Doug on this. May Flexer, I can track down May, have a conversation with her, as well as, and I don't know where our other state reps, usually when I work, I sort of reach out to a whole team because we're all sort of involved here. So Pat Boyd up in Pomfret, I can see if I can track him down. The session is over on the 6th, so they'll have a little bit more time. So we have to get them working with us on this, or at least let them know what our feelings are so they can express those through the channels as well. So John, if you're running the Heather Summers down in New London, bend her ear for us. And
one of the good things about, with regards to entering in as a party on the siting council, you really get to decide at how extensive you want to be involved, how much you want to incur as far as additional costs, right? By entering as a party, you at least they are required to notify you of every document that they file to the siting council. So if they, file a change in their potential site plan or location of entry, driveway entry, or any change whatsoever, you would automatically get noticed of that versus having to constantly trying to track to see what those changes are. Yes, that would go to the attorney. My experience with Howard and Sage in monitoring as a party status, they have not been, they're not over aggressive on their fees at all. So they typically, hey, we got it. But unless you tell them, hey, we really need to dig through this, I think you have a lot of control as to how much your cost investment will be on this. And you can really kind of see what the landscape looks like, what other agencies are also fighting. And do you need to bring something else to the table? So you have a lot more freedom on how much you engage in that process once you file as a party status.
And there might not be, and is there potential, because they have to set up a fund to
So that's
pass some of these costs along to the applicant?
Yeah,
to
so
recoup?
we were looking at that. It depends on whether or not you're within 2,500 feet.
And we're not.
And we are not
No.
at all. Again, unless they, decide to start shifting things, we can continue to monitor that.
Yeah.
Or we could advocate to our legislators to change that in the statute which would then encompass, so instead of 2,500 feet, which is a fairly close radius, make it, 10,000 feet and then
Yeah.
we're in, right? Because we're about 7,000 feet off of their property line.
Right.
So, that's another avenue for just discussion to our
Right.
legislators. And as this is not a 6-month process either. So.
Yeah, there's long process, there's a lot of time, but I just, for our audience of, well, none, we are working on it. For you, Mr. Jenkins, we're working on it, so this isn't something that we're letting slide by since you brought that up at the beginning of the meeting. So, I think that covers pretty much everything I had for Selectmen's report. John, Mark, flip a coin, who's going first?
Got the next,
IFOC?
yeah,
Yeah.
blank.
That's all right.
I didn't want to say.
Oh, come on. Yeah.
The Oversight Committee, we got our next meeting coming up June 10th.
Okay,
So I'll let the fire department know. Is there any way, I'll send an agenda in.
yeah,
And
I'll have Pat send one out to all send out an
Yeah.
agenda and a reminder to all the board members, and we can loop in the fire department as
Yeah.
well with that, Ray. And
that would be good.
Yeah.
All right. So
and that's on June 10th, 7
yes,
PM
that's
here.
next
Yeah.
Tuesday, yep.
Okay,
10th.
June 10th, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll have Patty do a reminder, that's fine. Okay.
So,
Yeah,
7 o'clock, yep.
Mark?
not until we get past the parade.
Okay, that's it.
We took care of next door as best you're gonna. I see you everybody this morning
What?
in the driveway.
No, there?
Yeah,
No.
we had the red truck with the emblem on it.
In the driveway over there?
Yeah,
Well, wasn't me.
Brody's.
Yeah, I don't know. Huh. I don't know, I missed that, so.
I said, oh, you got your aunt like that.
No, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. I wasn't there. I'm keeping away. Yeah. All right. Public comment. Mr. Jenkins, anything since you came out?
Not at this time, but yeah, let's see how this goes, because I think we have to have a lot of opposition to this. And that's the only way we're gonna keep them out. They tried to have that gas power plant up there in Putnam, that area up there. And that finally died.
Yeah, I think,
But
was that
takes
the
a
one
lot of
in,
Fight to keep it out, and we have to fight.
That was the NTE plant.
yeah, was that the one in Killingly?
That was
Yeah.
it was the second one proposed for Killingley. So Lake
Yeah.
Road Generating
Yeah.
came in the 90s. There was a second one that was proposed on Lake Road.
Yeah.
A natural gas facility.
But the only way is to fight them.
Yep,
You gotta fight them.
I know. So we're gonna be looping in our legislatures. If you reach out to our elected legislators as well and get people you know
Yeah,
to contact.
May Fletcher doesn't do anything.
Nah, but at the end of the day
Dead
though.
weight. She's dead weight.
Yeah, at the end of the day, sending her an email doesn't hurt because at least there's a record of it. And getting the word out to Doug Dubinsky. Yeah, I know what you're saying. I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna.
Doug
Yeah.
Dubinsky will do something,
Yeah.
because those trucks are gonna come right through Scotland.
Oh yeah, all that. Yeah.
He doesn't want that there.
Yeah, because that garbage is coming out of the center of the state. Because when they closed Mid-Iraq,
They don't wanna send the stuff to Ohio anymore.
Right.
So they're gonna send it here.
Well, because they have very aggressive goals they're trying to meet in terms of handling the garbage in the state of Connecticut, and this is one of them. My issue though, and what bugs me is you lost the garbage facility in Hartford. Don't put one out here. Put it closer to where that source
That's where
is.
the
That
garbage
source
is.
of it is, but
That's where the garbage generated.
Right,
Put it where it's
right. So
generated.
put it closer
Don't
to
truck it
where
out
it's
there.
generated rather than trucking it halfway
Yeah,
across the
don't truck
state.
it out.
We're talking over in Frankfurt.
They were talking, yeah, I did read a while ago that there was some talk about repurposing part of Brainerd Field for a facility, but to Mary's point that she brought up is that this facility will handle half of what Mid-Iraq did, so they're still 50% short of where they need to be based on the output from that old facility, but we'll keep this, we'll keep, doing,
You'll make 14 a toll road.
They're
Ah.
processing,
Make them stop and pay a toll before they can go through.
yeah, their processing proposal is a gasification process, which is not, a tried and true process. It's
Yeah,
still an
I read
experimental
it.
process.
yeah,
So there's some concerns or questions, at least,
Yeah.
around kind of that.
yeah, there's one, they have one of this type and it's in Finland,
On an
on
island
an
by
island
itself.
by itself, yeah.
And it
Yeah.
doesn't handle,
Yeah.
that plant does not handle the same waste as what they're talking this plant to handle.
Right,
That plant is not handling, municipal solid waste at all. It's handling very specific, I think they're doing a different type of product, so it's not the same type of material going in. So to be able to say that the process and the output of what this is going to have as far as, emissions.
Yeah,
I
it's-
think
they
you
don't
say
have-
they're one for one.
yeah, it's not apples to apples, so, yeah. Oh, before we actually adjourn, one other thing, in terms of the budget, the budget went through. We are, essentially, the numbers that we used to put the budget together with the Board of Finance are the numbers that went through in the final budget. So ECS was held harmless. Town Aid Road went up significantly, which is nice. LoSiP stayed the same. Pretty much the other numbers all stayed the same, which we'd already budgeted for, so there's no surprises there, which was nice to see, because they're up until the last minute, there's always talk about something changing, so that was good to see.
Not on pilot.
I'd stay in the same. We don't see a lot of pilot.
Like a brand new building twice the size of the one we got.
Then we'll
Where's
have to
our payment?
petition, for more then, yeah. Yeah,
Once it's finished, you can't you?
yeah, I would think so, yeah.
Yeah, you wait till they're finished and then you, your assessor submits for, the new value.
And I don't think, I didn't send it to you, but George Raphael at CCM, Jimmy Rivers up at NECOG said something out, and Costin said something else. I'll
Yep.
forward that to you guys. I'll share that with the Board of Finance, so you can have those numbers. So, on that note, I think that covers everything. So do we have a motion to adjourn?
You got it.
All right, so let's call it at 7:29. Thank you.
Wait a minute.
There you go.